Wow. Today is not Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. The days are flying by. The days are flying by. Today is Wednesday, January the 13th. I am your host, KC Phoenix, and this is my daily thought. Oh, I'll be honest. I wasn't even sure if I was doing this episode today because I had a daily thought picked out, and I was thinking about not doing one at all because I didn't. For those who may not know, if you're just now listening for the first time, I have another channel and I didn't do an episode this morning for my other channel that deals with political stuff because I wasn't in the mood because lately it's been rinse and repeat in politics and I'm kind of over some things. But with today, I sort of had my daily thought of what I was planning on doing. And then as the day went on, it just totally changed. It totally changed. And I went from, okay, I may not be doing an episode today to, yeah, I'm going to do an episode, but it's not going to be the episode that I was originally planning on doing before I was kind of in my feelings about not doing an episode. So, yeah, and it's only because I've been just thinking about stuff. So this is my therapy session. I have a therapy session every now and then on my daily thoughts. So this therapy session is love on my mind, is what it is. And I'm really, I, I'm, I'm doing my best to understand these emotions right now because this isn't usual. Okay, let me rephrase. Let me take that back. For the past few months, I haven't been in that emotional mindset. I've been in let's get things done mindset. Anything involving romance or physical stuff with people, all of that stuff can go to the side. It's like let's get things done, and I've been getting things done. But recently, and it's interesting because someone had mentioned, I forgot what channel it was. It was during a reading, a tarot card reading. They had said that the moon goes into, I think, Cancer tonight on the 13th or the 14th. I think they said the 13th. But the moon changes, and it's going to bring other changes with it. But I was like, well, if it goes into Cancer, that's weird because the moon went into Cancer back in July of last year. And I wasn't I wasn't feeling like this. I wasn't feeling like this. And I've just been sort of reminiscing about things, and I do my best not to look back, you know, and what I recommend to people sometimes is not to look back. Check out the episode. It's okay not to look back. And it's just things are happening, which for those who may have, if you're an Aquarius, if you listen to the Aquarius tarot card reading, you know that I've recently started talking back with this guy who I don't know if you want to say we were dating. We were just, we were good where we would hang together and stuff. And I'm pretty sure I mentioned this even outside of that tarot card reading, where I had sent him a message and then he replied the next day because I sent him a message on Facebook. And he replied the next day, and we've been texting ever since. We haven't texted as much today as we have the past few days, but we've been texting a lot. And I hadn't spoke to him in a minute, but I've known him for, it's amazing how fast time goes by, like almost 15 years, I believe it is, because I think I've known him since 2006, if that's right. That sounds about right. And we it's just been cool. It isn't the energy that we've been in, there just aren't any expectations from anyone. He's not expecting, at least I don't think he's expecting anything. I'm not expecting anything. It's just we're enjoying each other's company like we did, but on a communication level. Beforehand, it was more on a physical level and communication level. And and it's funny how we met because we met specifically for the physical. And then during that process, I forgot what it was, but something was said during the process. And then we both started laughing during the process. And I was just like, wow. Because if you can laugh with someone during the process, and by process, you know what I'm talking about, then, then that's a pretty good connection. It's a good connection when you can have a conversation, and not that you're looking to have a conversation during the process, but if a conversation comes up or somebody says something and you both know it's funny and you can laugh, that's a good energy to be in with someone, especially on a physical level and a mental level and emotional level. So yeah, but we've been chatting it up is what we've been doing. And he's one of the few people that I talk to because for those who follow the channel or my podcast, you know that I don't really talk to anybody because I work all the time. And I'm very selective about how I share my energy with people. Because usually when you share your energy with people, which that's another episode, if you're new, listen to I think it's titled "Be Careful with Who You Share and Give Your Energy With" or something like that. It was recorded a while back. You can go back through and listen to it. But when you're having a conversation with someone and energy is being exchanged, you're taking on their energy. So if there's anything heavy going on in their life, you have to be mentally and emotionally ready to carry that energy during that conversation and possibly afterwards. Just like I was explaining to you when I did the tarot card readings, some of those readings, the energy stuck with me for like a few days of the stuff that I pulled. Energy doesn't go anywhere. Energy isn't created nor destroyed. It goes from one party to the next. So that's why you have to be careful who you let in. With him and I, when we talk, I don't feel like my energy is being sapped. And I can't necessarily speak for him. I can only say I'm under the impression that he doesn't feel like his energy is being sapped, because if he did, he more than likely wouldn't communicate with me as much as he does, if that makes sense. Because he's really busy too. He works like 2 jobs and does a whole bunch of other stuff and everything else. So, but throughout the day, he makes time to send me text messages. And as I said before, I'm not expecting anything from this. If it leads to something, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if there is a long term with him. However, I've thought about the long term, and I really am curious why I've been thinking about the long term. And it isn't a thing of, oh, well, I'm getting older and maybe it's time to have someone around with me because you don't want to grow old alone. No, I've never had an issue being alone. And I think one reason I've never had an issue being alone, I'm doing other things for those who are listening, it doesn't matter. But for those who are watching, I'm doing other things while I'm doing the show. But when it comes to being alone, I don't have an issue with that because I've always enjoyed my own company, where I find myself entertaining, where I'm by myself. I'm if I do something, I might laugh at it. is in laughing at myself or talking to myself, and not like, talking to the wall crazy type stuff, even though, I mean, I've been accused. But it's it's never been a huge thing to me. It really hasn't, because I enjoy my own company so much. But I was just thinking about the long term in regards to being with someone. And it's like, okay, well, do I have the 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 mindset now where I can do it long term? Because one person that I've been thinking about, and I actually even looked him up too, was this guy. I mentioned him before, where he flew from another country to come chill with me and spend time with me. And he was an amazing guy. But there were two things that stood in the way of what may have been the possibility of a great relationship. I don't know, because yeah, I can see some things in the future, but I can't see exact things. So I don't know. I guess we may never know. One thing is that I was still hung up on my ex, which is why I did the episode, It's Okay Not to Look Back. I was still hung up on my ex, and which my ex, we still deal with each other to this day. I haven't spoke to him in like 3 days, I think, but regardless, we still talk to each other. And then the other thing was, I had been staying by myself for so long that it was a major adjustment. And I thought that I was ready for it before I was. And it was a major adjustment having someone come into my space where I have been on my own doing my thing for so many years. The first time when I lived in Los Angeles, I didn't have any space at all. I had roommates the entire time. The first time I lived in Los Angeles. And actually, I didn't even have a bed for a while. Usually I was sleeping on the floor or on the couch the first time I lived in Los Angeles. I did have my own bed when I lived in Marina Del Rey for a while. But after I left Marina Del Rey, everywhere that I stayed, I was either on the floor or on the couch, is what it was. In one apartment that I was in, it was a 1-bedroom apartment, and it was like 5 people. Because it was, 5 at one time, 6 people in the 1-bedroom apartment. And people were just sleeping on the floor. If we ate, we work out something. Usually we make a big thing of spaghetti, a big pan of spaghetti, and share it that way, because obviously spaghetti would feed everyone. And it was inexpensive, and do that. So, I haven't always had the king size bed behind me. So, yeah. It was an adjustment, and I just didn't adjust fast enough on that level. And like I said, I was still hung up on my ex. That was the other thing. And because of that, he got away. He got away. The guy who flew from another country to see me and stay with me, he got away. And I was thinking about him. I thought about him today. I thought about him yesterday. And I was wondering how he was doing. And I reached out like maybe 3 or 4 times. And he didn't reply back. Because one thing about Virgos are almost like Cancers to a certain degree. Usually when they're done, they're done. And they can be really, really stubborn. He's a Virgo. And his thing was, and he had told me the last time we had spoke years ago, that the reason he didn't feel comfortable anymore with me is because one day I had looked at him like I didn't want him to be there. And I was just like, it wasn't like that. I was like, I was adjusting and I was still hung up on my ex. So that was the thing. And then ever since then, I haven't talked to him. So, that's life. But I'm asking myself, why is love on my mind? And it's not because Valentine's Day is next month. I don't care about Valentine's Day. I really don't. I've never, you already know I'm not really a holiday person. I like cheesy Christmas movies and then the Christmas music and stuff like that. I like music, I like movies, but holidays themselves, just like Martin Luther King Day is Monday coming. I'm just kind of like, I'm not really a holiday person because I just feel certain things should be celebrated year round. I don't feel that there should be one day out of the year in February where people are like, oh, I care so much about you. Oh, I want to be with you. Oh, I'm so glad I'm with you. This is the day I'm going to tell you or express it on. When there's 364 other days in the year that you could do that. So why are we waiting until February the 14th? Make it make sense. I really don't know why love is on my mind. I don't. And I'm trying to figure this out. That's why I'm having this therapy session right now. Because it's not a thing of loneliness. That's not it. That doesn't bother me. Could it be a thing of the moon changing or getting ready to change? Maybe. Could it be a thing of stuff has slowed down a little bit now? That could be something with it. And you know what? Okay, maybe that's it. See, this is what these therapy sessions are for. Maybe that's it. Maybe because things have slowed down just a little bit, where because I've been working like crazy, I haven't had time to really think about it. I haven't had time to entertain it. I'm always open to flirting and stuff like that, but I still don't, I usually don't entertain people when they approach me. And sometimes when people flirt with me, I I rarely pick up. If I would know then what I know now, then that'd be a whole different type of ball game. I'm just, I don't know. I really don't know with that. But I think that might have something to do with it, where things have slowed down a little bit, which now I've started watching Power, which is good. Finally started watching Power, the sixth season, getting around to that because I got wore out by Vikings because I'm on the fifth season of Vikings right now. And I was just like, you know what? I am Vikinged out. Let me switch to something else. So I started watching Power, the sixth season. I was like, okay, yeah, I guess things are slowing down. And because things are slowing down, it's given me a little bit more time to acknowledge my emotions. Maybe I did the off switch. I don't know if you guys are in the Vampire Diaries and like the originals and all that stuff and legacies. But one thing that the vampires can do is turn off their humanity. And once they flip the switch, then they can just go on a rampage and not feel anything. But the thing is, once they flip the switch back on, all these emotions come rushing in after they flip the switch back on. I feel like when I decided to do all of this work, that I turned off the switch. And now maybe that things are slowing down, the switch is being forced back on, if that makes sense. And now that the switch is being forced back on because things have slowed down just a little bit, I'm like, oh, emotion. That thing. And, so here I am doing that. And, or maybe it's just nostalgia too. Maybe me dealing with my friend, my Aquarian friend, has triggered a certain type of nostalgia. Maybe that's it. That could be it too. Or maybe it could be a combination of both. I don't fully know. But what I do know is that it's taking some adjusting. And as I mentioned before, I'm doing other things while I'm doing my podcast. So if you hear clicking, it's me typing. But yeah, now it's a thing of, well, do I embrace these emotions or will I speed up again? And then the switch is going to turn off the emotions again? Or what's going to happen now? What's going to happen next? Or now that the emotions, like, I don't want to say the floodgates are open because it isn't that type of party. Let me make that clear. But now that I'm somewhat, I don't want to say my guard is down because it isn't that either. What's the word I'm looking for? Or words I'm looking for. Now that I'm somewhat, I guess, semi open to entertaining certain thoughts or maybe even certain people should they approach, will that lead to something else? Or will that be a cascade leading to more emotions opening up? Will that be the case? And that's sort of what I'm looking at too. And if those emotions come in, then will it affect my professional life? Will it affect my personal life? I don't know. I honestly believe people can have it all. I hate when people say that, oh, you can't have it all. You can't have the great career, and by career meaning whether you're working a 9 to 5 or whether you're an entrepreneur or whatever, and you can't have the family and the money and this and that and everything else. Because people do say that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. The universe doesn't operate like that. There's too much available for the universe to give to you for that type of thinking. To say, oh, well, you can't have it all. You're going to tell the universe it can't give you everything? It's the universe. It can literally give you everything. Call it universe, call it God, call it goddess, call it the source, call it energy, call it the one, call it Allah. I don't care, whatever you call it. It can literally give you everything. But the question is, will allowing someone to come into the picture change the course of what your life will be when it comes to your goals? Or will it just be a learning experience? Like, what will it be? What could it be? Should you allow it to be? Is what goes through my head. So that's sort of where I'm at, but it's just weird. Like I said, that I've been in this mindset with love. Because I sort of, if we had to, I feel like tarot cards are my way of speaking, which is another reason I'm drawn to them. I feel like because this isn't a Queen of Cups energy that I've been in, which the Queen of Cups, she pours out her love without restriction, and she gives it fully and openly. I've been more in the Queen of Swords energy and the Emperor energy, where the Queen of Swords, she is very clear about what she wants, what she doesn't want, and she will remove whatever doesn't serve her in a heartbeat, because she is more guarded when it comes to her heart. The Emperor is all about building things, maintaining things, acquiring things, looking towards the future. Boosting, I guess you could say, reputation to a certain degree, expanding reputation, expanding knowledge too, and doing what others usually are afraid to do or refuse to do. That's the Emperor energy. And that's sort of like what I've been in. But I feel myself drifting out of that a little bit, because the whole love thing has been on my mind. And I like I said, I don't know why. I don't know if it's because I've been talking with my Aquarian friend. I don't know if it's because I've thought about my other friend, the one that got away. Maybe it's on a Page of Cups energy, where it's fresh and it's new. It's fresh and it's new, and a little bit immature, I guess. I don't know. But I'm curious if these emotions, these feelings that I'm having, that I'm being allowed to have, that my mind is allowing me to have, and that my heart is allowing me to have, I'm curious if these feelings will be around over the next few weeks, or will I go back to Queen of Swords and Emperor energy? Is what I'm curious about. Or will I go from a Page of Cups to a Knight of Cups to a Queen of Cups to a King of Cups? You know? So yeah, it's kind of interesting to say the least. It really, really is. But anyways, let me go ahead and get going because I'm at 30 minutes and I figure 30 minutes is long enough for a therapy sesh. I just wanted to talk this out and see where I was at. And if you've listened to this entire therapy sesh or watched it, then you have my thanks, you have my love, and you have my appreciation. You have my appreciation. Because listening to little old me is I appreciate it. So yeah, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform, which is on the Anchor platform. But also this podcast is on Spotify, Apple, Google Play, Pandora, and iHeartRadio, along with other platforms. Facebook.com/KIRWKC, Instagram, KIRWKC, which also I upload these episodes to IGTV as well. If you are watching this on YouTube or Dailymotion, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. That way you will know when I upload new videos. And don't forget to hit the notification bell as well to give you an additional heads up for YouTube when I upload new videos to YouTube. And that reminds me, by the way, I am 75% sure I'm adding another tarot card segment to the Keeping It Real with KC show. I'm more than likely adding another tarot card segment in addition to the monthlies that I already will be doing, which I'll be doing the February monthly, but I'll be adding another segment as well. So, and when I do my tarot card segments, I'm not even, for the people who listen to the podcast, you don't hear the opening that I have for the video. There's an opening for the show. It's only when you watch the video. But for the tarot card readings with the video, there will not be an opening for the tarot card readings, any of them, going forward. It's just going to be as soon as the camera turns on, it's recording, and that's going to be that, is what it will be. Until I redo my opening for the Keeping It Real with KC show, which I more than likely will not do until the spring. Because Mercury is about to go into retrograde at the end of this month, and I don't want to be doing too much, and that might have something to do with it too. Because when Mercury goes into retrograde, it also gives people time to reflect on things, and it's a good time to clean, and it's a good time to reflect. So maybe that's what's going on too. So that might be it as well. Why this whole love thing is in my head. So yeah, I feel like. Oh, Twitter, KIRWKC on that platform too. But anyways, let me go ahead and get going. Thank you again to everyone for your support. Like I said, I appreciate it more than you will ever know. Until next time, be blessed.